and I am going to try my best. I don't know if the technical team is hearing me clearly with my mask on, but I will try my best, Mr. Williams. Good afternoon, all those who are tuning via radio, television, and those viewing online. Welcome to this briefing. You're not hearing me well? No. All right, thank you. Okay. All right, I want to start with my team. I guess the technical team now advises that they can hear me better, yes? All right, very well. Dr. Wilkinson just told me he can hear me much better as well. All right, again, I want to start with my theme. I want to be the first to be last and last to be first. And I think we are doing a good job in terms of getting there. And we can see what is happening in the Caribbean region as we monitor our other CARICOM member states. Now, I want to highlight something first before I get deep into my presentation, and that is the recent travel advisory that has been issued by the United States of America and in most of the Caribbean countries. St. Kitts, as you're aware, only have one active case, as our 17th case has recovered nicely. And bearing in mind that we are opening our economy slowly, we are easing the restrictions that we have that were used, as Superintendent Henry said, in the best interest of public health and safety. So therefore, we want to advise the world that St. Kitts and Nevis is one of the best places that you can be right now. We continue to control our borders. Our borders are closed. However, we have said we are going in stages or phases whereby we have started with the repatriation of our nationals and residents. So we started with nationals first, then we move on to our residents. Then from residents, we know we have a number of individuals that are working in St. Kitts and Nevis, and they are contributing to our economic activities here, and hence we allow them to also return, those who have left. And from those who have returned, we also have a number of individuals who are married to citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis. We also have some investors who have vast interest in St. Kitts and Nevis. And these investors, again, have requested to return to St. Kitts and Nevis. And we are gradually allowing these activities to happen under a very controlled measure, extremely controlled. And if you want to compare St. Kitts and Nevis with a lot of the other countries, I think our economy has been doing well with the stimulus package that was introduced in St. Kitts and Nevis in March. And I think it was 3 months in the first instance. However, I am advised that Cabinet is reviewing this stimulus package as a seek to continue to stimulate the economy, and hopefully the economy can survive. So I wanted to highlight that because we have been placed at level 3. What does that mean at level 3? That due to our closure of borders, due to our COVID-19 situation, U.S. citizens traveling to St. Kitts and Nevis may find themselves with a number of challenges. For example, they may have to queue in lines. They may have to be delayed when it comes to the travel activities. So therefore, these are some of the things that they are advising their citizens on. I don't think it means that St. Kitts is a war-torn country or is in a war zone. It just simply means that St. Kitts and Nevis has some restrictions due to the border closures, airport closures. Really and truly, our airport is only closed to commercial flights. We have a lot of activities at the airports, and we see that day to day. For example, just a while ago, we had a number of individuals who arrived to the Federation from the United States of America. We have had individuals arrive to St. Kitts from the United Kingdom, Europe, and throughout the Caribbean. Today, we've had 4 of our nationals return from Guyana via the RSS plane. So there are activities that are happening at our ports. It is just that it's a new normal, how we are controlling it. So therefore, it will cause you to have some little bit of delays or do things different. So that is important to note. So therefore, I will say that we don't need to be worried that St. Kitts and Nevis is in a bad state, but rather than we have control measures in order to safeguard our citizens, our residents, and by extension, any visitors that visit St. Kitts and Nevis during this pandemic. Now, Superintendent Henry spoke to the events, and I was privileged to have a discussion with a few event planners. And in that regard, we have said that St. Kitts and Nevis is at a state right now that some restriction could be eased in order to stimulate activities and also look at the social component of our country. And to that, we have decided that events under a very controlled mean can occur. What do I mean by events? For example, you will have persons who want to do some fetes, want to do some party style. I think, Dr. Wilkinson, you will have to help me because I'm not a party guy, or maybe Les Roy, right? And so in sitting with and discussing with them, what we have decided is, one, event organizers, you must present a tax clearance certificate from the Inland Revenue to be considered. Two, you're going to have to provide us with protocols, such as the social distancing, physical distancing, hygiene protocols. Traceability, meaning we have to know who is coming to your event, is critical, because if someone who has attended your event may turn out to be a positive COVID-19 patient, then we need to trace. So all these little things need to be done. We will be having a meeting with these event organizers sometime this week, this upcoming week, or the following week, so that we could get this sector mobilized. It's very important. They have engaged me off and on. Again, please, I ask you not to compare this to anything else. Focus on your sector, bring ideas to us, and we will attempt to work with you to get your sector moving. We have also seen that the regulation has spoken to the hotels, opening of our hotels, as we are gearing up to opening our borders. Opening the borders is not just allowing commercial flights to come here. That's just one component of the entire picture or puzzle. Therefore, we have to make sure we have where persons can go. Accommodations. So in opening the hotels, it is required that hotels apply to the task force. The task force will then come, do an assessment, and once the hotels have satisfied the basic standards of hygiene, of physical distancing, of traceability, of applying sanitization measures and programs, then we will issue through the St. Kitts Tourism Authority or Nevis Tourism Authority a certificate of compliance from the Ministry of Tourism, meaning that you are able to open and provide services to anyone. That is critical for you to note. It is regulated, and we look forward to the compliance of the hotel industry and by extension, the tourism industry at large. Again, there is ongoing training in the tourism sector, and I am appealing to all the stakeholders within the tourism sector to take advantage of the free training. Again, in these hard times, it's free. I am told in the past you would have had to pay for this training, and the Cabinet, in consultation with the St. Kitts Tourism Authority and other stakeholders, have decided to allow this to be free. So all persons desirous of undertaking this training, so you could get the seal of approval. That means that you have undertaken the training. That means that you can provide some support to the response effort and the fight against COVID-19 by building a resilient business place. so that we can actually remain resilient when our borders are open. And that is the ultimate goal for any country right now. So therefore, please contact Ms. Raquel Brown, Chief Executive Officer of the St. Kitts Tourism Authority, and register your business. On Nevis, please contact Ms. Jadine Yadi, Chief Executive Officer of the Nevis Tourism Authority, so that, again, your business can become a good receiver of training, so that you could be resilient and generate economic activities. Just last week, I spoke about the security, and today I receive a number of calls from security firms stating that they are ready, they want to join and partner with the task force in order to generate income. They want economic activities. So I was pleased, and I want to thank those who took the opportunity to call and are willing to be a part of this process. Again, let us not become complacent, and I want to show you an image of something that happened on the 1st of August. So while Lesroy Williams jumped on a boat and he went over to Nevis, and also, you know, Dr. Wilkinson, I believe, I don't know about Dr. Laws, but this vessel that you see, the vessel, not the one with the gentleman sitting at the back, the other vessel, closer to the buoy, that vessel was traveling from St. Martin onwards to Guadeloupe. The captain of the vessel, which is one single person that was on the vessel, decided to enter our waters, or our closed borders. And he berthed at the Owali Beach. And while berthing at the Owali Beach, he came off the vessel, walked up to the restaurant, engaged in purchasing items, used the bathroom facility, and then was leaving until he was intercepted. This is why, because we don't have an outbreak in St. Kitts and Nevis, we need to still be vigilant. It's critical, and this is why every time, every day, we get up and we continue the fight. Supposedly, this individual would have been a positive case that would have just come into our country, entered our borders that are closed, spread the virus, might have left quietly, and then we have a major outbreak, because that same weekend was a festive weekend, where we saw a lot of people go over to Nevis and had a very festive weekend. So therefore, I am appealing to the general public to understand what we are trying to do to protect you and your livelihoods. And I am asking all to remain vigilant. You have to. When we open our borders, we will see that we are going to get cases. And if we don't build the resilience now, St. Kitts and Nevis can be reduced to one of those countries that have basically been overcome, like the Bahamas and otherwise. So again, remain vigilant in this time. I want to just show you a video. Well, sorry, the technicians tell me that we may not be able, but I wanted to show a video of what we want to do at the airport, in terms of the airport screening, where you can just walk up to the kiosk machine, and using your cell phones and other things, you can actually just, you know, be screened, and then walk into the testing booth. We had a meeting with Parsons, the team from Parsons in the United States of America. The meeting was very, very informative. They are willing to support, and they acknowledge the work that has been done in St. Kitts and Nevis, and they are willing to support our activities. However, I must say to you, it's a very costly venture, and I am appealing to the business community to come on board and support the government in helping to put the best measures in place in the Caribbean region, so that our airports can be resilient. Unfortunately, we won't get the video, but hopefully we will get the video another time. All right, so let's move on to the hurricane season. So as I wrap up, during the hurricane season, it has been deemed as extremely active. meaning that we have moved from 19 to 21 named storms to 24, which is stated by the Colorado State University as the most dire forecast in Colorado research team's 37-year history. Again, let me repeat, extremely active 2020 hurricane season with 24 named storms, including 5 major hurricanes, in the most dire forecast in Colorado research team 37 years history. This has been compared to the 2005 hurricane season, and we all know what happened in 2005. There was a famous hurricane that impacted the United States in 2005. I don't know if any of you remember that very, very disastrous hurricane, and that was Hurricane Katrina. Up to today, the New Orleans and the Gulf Coast is still recovering from that impact 15 years later. We have had 9 storms that have passed thus far, that from Arthur to Gonzalo to Hurricane Isaias. So Isaias would have been the last storm. So what is stated by the Colorado Research, Colorado State University, is they go up to 21 names. So the naming for the storms go up to 21. After 21, then they will move to the Greek alphabet to find more names to give some. I hope they find one name, Leslie Williams. So those are the storms for the 2020. I am appealing again to the general public to continue their preparedness measures so that when we if we are faced with any threat of any of these disastrous storms or hurricane, we can respond like we did the other day. Again, I was pleased with the response of the general public and the cooperation, and I hope that we can enhance on the successes and gains that we have made. Thank you, and we await your questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel. For 1 minute, I